Today we're diving into FL Studio to create emotional guitar-driven beats inspired by artists like Rylo Rodriguez and No Cap. Alright, so first things first, guys, I started with this guitar melody. Now, I actually recorded this at my studio, but I think the key with the guitar melodies is to use less notes, keep them very spaced out. Also, I think it sounds better if you omit the fifth of the chord. So basically, you're going to have one lower note and one higher note, so less notes in your chords. To me, that gives you more room to play around with piano melodies and vocal samples. I'm going to go ahead and play it for you. Alright, so the first thing I added was a sub bass. The bass is from my Schaefer Drip analog lab bank. It's included in my Schaefer God Drum multi-kit. The next thing I added was a guitar from my analog lab bank. The name of the preset is Black Hole Guitar. Alright, the next thing I did is I took the guitar, I reversed it, and I pitched it up an octave. And then I also went and I added a perk loop from my God Drum kit. This is perk loop 15. Right, it just kind of spices up them verse sections. Alright, so next I added a vocal sample from Arcade. That is going to be from the Distant Voices. It's the Sanctum preset. Felt like I needed to add some low notes, so I got this Devil's Piano. It's in the bonus one-shots from my drum kit. Once I finished with the melody, I jumped on into drums. I'm using the 777 hi-hat. It's available now at producergod.com. If you enter the code Zeus92 at checkout, you'll get 15% off. The kit, it comes with 808s, 40 different hi-hat midis. And usually I would have used a hi-hat MIDI on this, but since the no-cap beats are a little bit faster, I just went ahead and used the two-step on this particular beat. Right, then all these drums are going to be from my drum kit. So I got the Orion clap, and then I like to blend in this roomy clap. It gives you adds a little bit of space to your claps. And you layer that with the snare drum. I really like this Juggernaut snare. All of these drums, I spent a lot of time mixing them just to make my life easier when I'm making beats. I've got pre-mixed drums. It already gets you 90% of the way there. I'm also using my Rattlesnake 808 from my drum kit. But there's also some other sick 808s in here you could use. Like this Awaken. This Clippy Boy is a super nasty 808. Spins remix. Like, there's some good stuff, but for this particular beat, I went with the Rattlesnake. And with my drum kit, guys, I try to keep it as simple as possible, not include too many filler drums. Like, these are all kick drums that I would use for different situations. On this particular beat, I like this Eros kick. Right? And then, so I like to use the Juggernaut snare as my main snare, and then I like to use this Mojo snare usually as my drum fills snare. And I actually took some of these snare rolls from my drum kit and I dragged it into the beat, and it worked for this beat. Right, it's nothing too crazy, it's just simple enough to add the extra sauce. And then for the second half of the chorus, I like to add a tambourine. Oh, I did end up adding a vocal chop. I do have some vocal chops in my drum kit. Let's go ahead and check that out. It's really simple. Right, I just threw that in there. Extra little sauce. I mean, I've got other stuff you could play around in here too with the toms, but I really didn't mess with none of that stuff for this particular beat. The main thing is getting the guitar melody that you start with. I would recommend looking up some guitar samples, or using some guitar VSTs. Like this one for the Analog Lab Bank, it's pretty good for a layer guitar. But to get that realistic guitar sound, you know, the best way is to record an actual guitar. Anyways, guys, I think that's going to do it for this beat. It's pretty simple. The key to the no cap Rylo beats is just to have a really nice guitar, and then throw in a couple vocal chops, maybe some more guitar, maybe some simple piano. And the main thing is just to not overdo it. And then also the range of these beats is going to be kind of in the faster, you know, 170, 180, in that range and speed. Again, there's no rules with this stuff, but I figured I'd just give you guys some tips to get you in the ballpark and help you make some sicker beats. So please go and check out my new drum kit. Again, use that code Zeus92 for 15% off. Thank you guys so much for watching and tuning in. If you like this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm going to be dropping some more tutorials for FL Studio, for Studio One, for mixing and beats in the future.